The opportunity to speak for the State of the City address. This actually, you may not know this, but this is actually something I'm state statute-wise mandated to do to the City Council, so I'm appreciative I at least have a quorum of City Council members here. So with that being said, I'll go ahead and dive right in. City Council members, department heads, business leaders, citizens, and friends, thank you for allowing or attending the 2017 State of the City address. As always, I appreciate the Chamber of Commerce for putting on this annual luncheon to discuss the past year's successes and challenges, as well as look ahead with a bold vision for the future of our city. 2016 was a banner year for growth and development in Columbia City. Our downtown began a renaissance. New housing developments arose from the ground. Businesses made first-time investments or expansions. And the unemployment rate dropped to below 4%. Strategic investments were made in our city infrastructure. I can only find one word to represent the progress and accomplishments that have occurred in our city in 2016. So the state of our city is growing. Housing stock is growing, downtown is growing, our parks programs are growing, and our economic momentum is not only growing, but booming. Building permits, and I think you'll like a PowerPoint this year. Building permits in 2016 equaled over $27 million in development. It was the highest construction activity the city has experienced since 2007, 10 years ago before the economic recession. Deer Chase and Cambridge Crossing subdivisions have homes popping up and new families moving in. A new section of Oakdale Ridge along South Line Street will begin construction soon. The Quail Ridge apartment complex on State Road 205 has already started to accept new occupants. And the historic Bluebell Lofts project will have its grand opening within the next few months. Another apartment complex is also in the works for the former Eagles Lodge property. Maybe. There we go. Biggs Development, in conjunction with Scan Inc. and the Columbia City Redevelopment Commission, have proposed an apartment complex known as the Van Buren Flats. The project looks to be transformational for our community because it will not only fill a vacant lot in our downtown, but will also add additional downtown housing to support the new businesses that are popping up. In fact, thanks to the hard work of Sharon Geiger, Ann Fall, Billy Reffett, and Tad Varga, as well as the Columbia City Main Street Organization and miscellaneous entrepreneurs, downtown truly is experiencing a bit of a renaissance. When businesses open up in downtown areas, studies show that the foot traffic increases the sales of businesses who are already there. As the saying goes, a rising tide raises all ships. I'm appreciative to so many individuals who put their heart and soul into the revitalization of downtown Columbia City. An extension of that effort is the Thomas Marshall Plaza. We're going to struggle here, I think. Placed in the 200 block of West Van Buren Street, the beautifully landscaped Pocket Park provides a respite from the hustle and bustle of day-to-day life. One of my favorite memories of 2016 was seeing the plaza dedicated by the State Masonic Lodge. The ceremony was truly impactful and showed the overflowing support this community has for not only the plaza itself, but the downtown as a whole. Special thanks go to the Office of Community and Rural Affairs, Lori Shipman, and numerous donors who made this project possible. The Main Street Organization also held Movie on the Square. There we go. I just have to do it again. Movie on the Square event that brought over 500 people to the square. They plan to provide 2 of these unique opportunities for citizens in 2017. It's events like this and Small Business Saturday that are important for the health and well-being of our downtown. City government continues to raise the bar in service to our citizens as we continually work to improve and enhance services for our residents. The Housing Authority's owner-occupied rehabilitation program has now given over $57,000 in low-interest loans. Hello. There we go. In no-interest loans, to residents seeking to make their homes more safe, sanitary, and secure. The owner-occupied rehabilitation program is continually reviewing the housing needs of our community and is always seeking applicants who meet the income criteria for the program. The tree board had another year of success as they partnered with the electric department to cut down 36 trees that were either dying or decaying. The board also had 53 trees pruned in order to preserve the health of the trees. Thanks to 2 different grants from the Department of Natural Resources, the tree board was able to plant 27 trees in 2016 and will plant another 25 trees this year to maintain our urban canopy. Recently, the tree board received the Gold Leaf Award from the Indiana Arborists Association. It was the only award given throughout the state of Indiana. Congrats to Ken Lundquist and the tree board on that award. Our utility department continued to improve and expand our infrastructure. There we go. Terry, you going to help me? You want me to just point to you? Okay, great. Thank you. Our utility department continued to improve and expand our infrastructure in 2016. Water projects included Jeffrey Drive from Azuba Lane to Holden Road, Earl Avenue from Main Street to Garland Avenue, and Shinneman Drive, just to name a few. A new paint job was applied to the water tower off of North Elm Street that now displays our city logo. This year, we'll continue working on the Squawbuck Road project and we'll finish the upgrades being made to the water line on North State Road 205. The Stormwater Department will again encourage residents to continue and consider taking part in our Rain Barrel Rebate Program, which not only captures stormwater that would otherwise go into our storm drainage system, but also saves residents dollars by reusing that water for flowers or grass or their gardens. We'll also be continuing the Downspout Disconnection Program, which reduces the infiltration of stormwater into our combined sewer system. And speaking of our combined sewer system, we are diligently working to apply for grants and low-interest loans to help defray the cost of the long-term control plan, scheduled to begin construction toward the end of 2017. As a reminder, this plan is a part of the federal mandate to meet the minimum standards of the Clean Water Act. The $8.5 million project includes storage basins, upsizing of sewer lines, and changes to our combined sewer overflow points. By capturing these federal dollars, which are really your dollars that you send to Washington, we will be able to keep rate increases to a minimum and stabilize sewer rates. It's been a tough few years with multiple sewer rate increases to pay for this massive federally mandated project, but I'm confident that the efforts that have been ongoing with our grant writer, community development director, and engineering firm, who by the way is a sponsor today, we will be able to complete the project on time with a reduced cost per household. The electric department continues to install and upgrade services as new businesses move into the city. When time is permitted, which has been rare this past hectic year, they have worked to move electrical lines underground to strengthen our electrical grid and provide better protection in inclement weather. In 2017, we'll embark on a project that will enhance the efficiency and productivity of the department by rolling out an automatic metering, or AMI, project. This project will allow customers to keep better tabs on their electric usage and billing while providing the electric department with better data to combat outages and electrical surges. In 2016, we put a bigger focus on enhancing the look and feel of our neighborhoods. More sidewalks were upgraded, curbs reconstructed, and roads paved. Sidewalks, specifically, have been brought into a heavier focus to help with the accessibility and walkability of our community. In fact, we've basically doubled the investment in sidewalks since 2013, from $55,000 a year to $100,000 in 2017. By investing in our neighborhoods, we're creating a safer atmosphere for pedestrians while beautifying the area. This will continue being a focus in the years to come. Roads are a heavy topic weighing on the legislature, as you probably have heard. Our lawmakers are working diligently in Indianapolis to find a way to increase road funding to accrue the additional dollars needed to support our aging infrastructure. Not only are the state roads struggling to be maintained, has anybody been on I-69 around Anderson lately? But local roads in cities and counties across Indiana, those roads are crumbling. This doesn't even mention the fact that Main Street or State Road 9 through our city took extremely too long to mill and fill. It's a two-sided problem that's a tough nut to crack. On one side, you have fuel-efficient vehicles that are filling up less at the pump than they used to in 2003, which, by the way, was the last time the gas tax was raised. This leads to decreased dollars going to INDOT, as well as dollars going into the Motor Vehicle Highway Fund or local road and street fund for municipalities. These funds are typically how locals, we, support the upkeep and maintenance of our streets. Now, bear with me for a real-life example of this decrease. Next slide, please. Because it gets a little number heavy. There we go. Since 2008, the total percentage of our street paving budget being paid by gasoline taxes has decreased from 84%, which is the combination of the first two, to 65%, a decrease of almost 20%. The decrease has been subsidized, as you can tell by the bottom two lines, by the County Economic Development Income Tax, or CEDIT, and the Street Bridge Cumulative Fund, which is paid for through property taxes. Now, ultimately, this decrease in dollars is shifting the burden away from a user fee, paid for by those who buy gasoline, to more of a locally based tax where if you work or live in Whitley County or Columbia City, you pay for the roads, no matter if you use them or not. Now, I talked about a two-sided problem, and we addressed the revenue side, but let's talk about the other side, which is the expenditure side. Roads cost more to build and maintain today than they did in 2003. Just like a steak or a Happy Meal costs a lot more than it did 14 years ago. That means the dollars we used to invest in our streets have been stretched even further. Many cities and counties have been forced to find alternate methods to stretch those dollars, whether it be grinding up paved roads into gravel, or from asphalt into gravel, continuing to patch potholes rather than repave them, and slurry seal the tops of roads rather than complete mill and fill replacements. These methods may address the issues for the next 2 years, but it creates a heck of a mess in 5 to 10. As a city, we've tried to be proactive and have allocated, as you can see, the additional resources necessary to maintain a strong street inventory. However, many other cities and towns are not as blessed to have a growing community. It's important that we have sustainable funding into the future to address the infrastructure challenges that are facing us. That's why I actually am in support, as you probably know, of House Bill 1002. Now, it isn't perfect, and there are a lot of disagreements on different parts of the bill. But the future of commerce and the state's future population growth depends on a strong